Yo. This is episode 53 of the Illogical Sense podcast. This is Mr. Busby sitting here out here in the Bay. And out in LA is my boy, Mr. JC.
It's cracking, everybody.
And, shit. Nazis just walking around thinking that shit is cool and shit. You know what I mean? Just another day in America.
Yeah. Indeed.
Indeed. I remember when the story came out, when it first leaked out that the motherfuckers were marching with their little pitchforks and saying, "You will not replace us." I saw on Twitter, I just laughed my ass off. Like, really? Y'all niggas really that mad? And I just went about my life. And then the next morning, I go on Twitter and everyone's all in an uproar about it. And I was just like, oh, y'all niggas really, oh, wow, this is pretty serious. Okay, y'all motherfuckers cute now. That's what I call a lot of these white fucking racist niggas, man. They're cute. Every time somebody does some racial shit, I just like, oh, that's cute. Y'all want to say that little racist shit? Okay, that's cute. Y'all really cute right now.
Yeah, obviously, like a lot of people, I had no idea what the hell was going on until Friday evening. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, what are they bitching about now?
Mm-hmm. Obama's already out of office. What are you mad about?
Yeah, like, okay, so, what's going down? And then you go on and look and see that it's all about the Robert Lee statue. And I'm like...
and they're going to pretty much take it down, right?
Yeah,
they're trying to...
yeah, because they already changed the name of one of the parks to Emancipation Park. And, I mean, air bubbles, white nationalists, but we're going to call them for what they are, Nazi bastards.
The KKK niggas, man. That's all they are. KKK without the fucking mask.
And, they literally showed out. Like you said, no mask, no nothing. Like, they are just empowered and feel like they have the freedom to, show up and do that. And then of all devices they bring tiki torches, which are not made in America.
Yeah, and they kept yelling out, "You will not replace us. White lives matter. Black lives don't matter." All types of shit. And it's like, I didn't even get mad. I was just looking at this shit like, really? Y'all gonna get your ass whooped for this shit, right? Like, you do know what's about to happen right now. Like, you know what's about to happen, right? Sure enough, the next day, they try showing up again. They even show up with their little military shit. Like, oh, look how cute you motherfuckers are. Y'all really cute. And of course, anti-racist people, like regular human beings, fought them. And tragically, some motherfucker decided to get brave and get in his car and try to plow into the group of people.
Well, he didn't try.
He did.
20-year-old James Alex Fields had the audacity to jump into his car. I recently, a few hours, read a report how they're trying to say his shift got stuck, and I'm like, that's the excuse y'all gonna use. All right, but whatever. Gets in his car, accelerates as high as he can, and he ran through 19 people and killed one of them, who happened to be a 32-year-old paralegal named Heather Heyer.
White woman.
So of course, the reports the night before were nationalists, and as soon as a white woman goes down, that's what it takes. It becomes
Nazis and racism.
Exactly, that's what it takes for it to call it what it is.
Are you really that surprised?
No, I'm not surprised at all. One thing that
go on.
I don't know that necessarily surprised me, but one thing that just made me like really, really laugh was the damn hashtag "This is not us."
Oh, of course.
Like,
white
get
people
the fuck out of here. This is not us. I had to tell somebody straight up, like, you have to understand that this country was founded on deceit and genocide. What do you mean this is not us? This is the America we've been trying to tell you about. But you kept telling us it was all in our heads and we just had to, pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and everything would be okay. No, this is what we've been telling you. And the reports of people saying, oh my gosh, I don't know how it could get to this point. And then I saw a video of all those incidences at Trump rallies where it was just, it showed this is what it's leading to. Like, what were you not paying attention to over the last 2 years?
And also, what was also more funny to me is how everyone on Twitter was so outraged that Hoe Ass Nigga in office didn't call them white nationalists. Like, don't you niggas understand that he built his campaign off of racism and shit?
Yeah, he's not going to call those
voters.
people out.
He's not going to call them out. Those are his voters. He ain't gonna do that. Why was everyone so mad about it? We know who this hoe ass nigga is. Like, everyone's getting all up in arms, like, oh, he's just a disgrace and da da da. Like, nigga, we know what he's about.
We tried to tell you.
We tried telling you. Y'all should have voted for the white woman, but you know what happened?
Her emails.
Yep. That's all.
Emails.
That's all it came down to.
Yeah.
Emails, and we don't trust her. But yeah, let's vote for this hoe ass nigga right now.
Yeah, the one with no experience and will talk out of his ass and
trolled his way into the White House.
Much.
Now he's
so he refused to call the situation for what it was until earlier this morning.
First he said it was from all sides. You gotta look at all sides.
So it's all sides are responsible, and I'm like, wait a minute, all sides are responsible. There's only there's one side counteracting the violence and the hate from one other side. Like, what you expect? And then finally this morning, he comes out and denounces the KKK, Nazis, and all of those who use race as evil. So
you can tell he was reading from a teleprompter.
Yeah, because on Saturday when he wouldn't say it, the media was pushing on him like, so you're not going to say it. And his ass walked off the podium.
Literally walked off like a little bitch.
And so
like a bitch.
So then after his comments today, former KKK leader David Duke went on Twitter and said, I would recommend you take a good look in the mirror. Remember, it was white Americans who put you in that presidency, not radical leftists.
That made me chuckle.
And I just read that and I was like, yep. I tried to tell people, but nobody wanted to listen. It was all about them emails.
Of course, white America put your ass in that office. You best reclaim. What did she say? We better reclaim your time and read your statements.
Reclaim that time.
Nigga, we put you in there. We take you out.
It's like how people were saying with Kaepernick, you better stand for that flag, boy. He basically told Trump, you better stand next to them hoods, boy.
Hoe ass nigga sold his soul to the fucking devil, and now the devil's come to collect.
It's time. It's time to reap what was sold on that occasion.
Hey man, it took Nixon 18 months to get kicked out. We are 8 months into his whole ass presidency.
Yeah, we're 8 months in, and we're right around the corner from World War III, and what else? Oh, and I guess the missile situation also.
They could hit you guys.
Yeah, they already did a blueprint of what's all that to happen, but
Yeah, they had this. They even put like a little article on Facebook. I saw my local news. What would if it really did hit San Francisco? And then this is what you should do. I'm like, really. This is where we at right now. 8 months into his presidency, this is where we at when he talks all that shit. Really? See, I kind of didn't want to talk about this shit, but man, fuck him.
Hey, it's the number one story across the country, and you gotta
him.
cover.
I could give a fuck about him. I hate talking about. You already know. We don't have to cover shit. We could just mention it because I really do not like talking about him because it gets me worked up. Like I'm just talking about Jed York, and I can talk about Jed York. I can say his name, but this nigga, man, fuck him. Fuck everything he's about.
Yeah,
next topic.
Yeah, because Jed York ain't gonna give people the empowerment to carry a tiki torch into Levi's.
Oh, fuck Jed, man. Fuck him too.
So we end with that on Busby's disclaimer. We go into some more Usher news.
I thought we were going to talk about football.
Sports news is sports. Okay. Yeah, I see what
might as well just talk about that because we might as well talk about your boy Marshawn taking sat his black ass down during the national anthem on the preseason.
Yeah. So preseason official week 1 started earlier this week. I don't know. Preseason. I forget. Preseason ain't just 1 or 2 days during the week. It's like it starts on Wednesday and then you forget who plays what day.
For real. So it's like practice. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Arena's half full and shit like that.
Raiders played on Saturday, which I text all my friends, my former coworkers, my old boss, called them because that's something we would do pregame. We would just kind of hang out around the field, walk around type deal. Just hollered at them. Everybody got back to me with the quickness. And I went to watch the game. And then I forgot because it's preseason, and if you're not in that market, the game's not going to show. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just get updates on my phone. As soon as I said that, Marshawn becomes a trending topic. And I'm like, ooh, whatever could this be? And sure enough, there's a picture Marshawn not standing, and he's definitely not taking a knee, but he's sitting on a cooler, down, eating a banana.
Chilling, not no pads on or nothing.
Yeah, because Marshawn don't play preseason, so that ain't nothing new.
Exactly.
And all I could say was, that's why he's beast mode. I support it.
And he gave no fucks either. And I guess Jack Del Rio did an interview, and he pretty much told him that he hasn't stood for the national anthem in 11 years, and no one said shit.
Yep.
So this is just his own shit. He doesn't do it at all. So as long as he knows he's doing what he's doing, he's not causing a distraction, which he's not.
Right.
Because even when he was with Seattle, he caused a distraction just because he didn't want to talk to the damn media.
Yeah. The only reason he was a distraction was because people made him a distraction. He didn't personally make himself a distraction.
He didn't do shit.
And so, that took place. I've had some interesting conversations with friends and loved ones, my mom included, who going into the week, she was in a position where, she's basically like, F the NFL. I don't want anything to do with it right now.
Shout out to your mom, though.
And shouts out to my mom on a side note. She got accepted into grad school to get her doctor's degree.
Hell yeah!
And so that was so very proud of her on that. But we had a conversation after Marshawn did what he did, and I was basically telling this was actually one of the reasons why I'm personally not going to boycott the NFL, because Kaepernick started something, and it's only going to progress. Like, there's a lot of people who think just because Kaepernick's not on a team that everything's going to go back to the way it was, and it's far from that. And it wasn't just Marshawn, because Saturday came around, and
Michael Bennett.
I got a lot of love for the Bennett brothers, man. Michael and Martellus Bennett, man, them cats are so well-spoken and outspoken at the same time that if you give them something that they feel very passionate about, you might as well just give them the microphone and walk away till they're done. And and so Michael Bennett against the Chargers said, well, I ain't going to stand for this either. So he sat down as well.
Damn right.
And so now you have two players. See, the argument with Kaepernick was, he's a backup. He's just doing this to get some attention. Now you're dealing with two bona fide stars in their own rights in this league. Like, they've definitely cemented their legacies within this league. And the argument is no longer they're just looking for attention. And like I said, it's only going to progress from here, because to me, they already had this in mind before Charlottesville was even going to take place. After Charlottesville and the reception that initially got, you can best believe there's going to be some people jumping in on that. Rest assured.
Oh yeah, but shout out to Michael Bennett. Shout out to Beast Mode, and Kaepernick still doesn't have a team for the time being. So
Cap still ain't got a job. So we'll see how that pans out.
Side note, you been watching Hard Knock?
Nah. But in other news, Ezekiel Elliott got himself suspended, and I don't necessarily agree with it.
I don't think no one really agrees with it, even though they proved that he didn't really touch that girl or nothing. But the NFL, for Hoe Ass Commish, just said fuck it. He's still getting suspended for 6 games.
Yeah, and in retrospect, you also got to hold the NFL Players Association responsible, because during the last collective bargaining agreement talks, the one where they actually almost didn't have a damn season, they pretty much they gave up their power and said it's open to the commissioner to take over. So this is the result, where the league office can now play arrestor, jury, judge, and executioner. And the reason why I don't agree with it, again, I've said this countless times, is I do not condone a man putting hands on a woman, just as much as I don't condone a woman putting hands on a man for absolutely no reason other than you just angry. This situation just sounds so sketch, and it doesn't sound sketch, it actually is sketch, considering the fact that you bring out her text messages and her voicemails saying how she gonna ruin this man's career, and there's another text message with one of her friends who's getting questioned by police, and she's like, I don't know what to tell them. And she's telling her, just tell them what I told you to say. So from that standpoint, it's not a good look all the way around. And of course, news came in on Friday. As soon as it came out, he's already talking about he's going to file the appeal to try to get this rectified and all that stuff.
I wouldn't even be surprised if he comes back by week 2.
Well, the thing of it is if you're going for an appeal, technically I think you can still play. So once it's filed, I think he might even be ready for week 1. But we'll see how that all plays out.
Fuck the Cowboys. Just for that.
Rare occurrences. You really don't hear about trades in the NFL, but there's a mega trade involving the Rams, Bills, and the Eagles over the weekend.
Who they trading for?
So for whatever God-given reason, who knows why, the Bills just decided, hey, we're going to be the Bills again. And they traded away Sammy Watkins and a 2018 6th-round pick to the Rams.
I guess?
Yes, they traded him to the Rams. The Rams then gave the Bills a cornerback, E.J. Gaines, and then a 2018 2nd-round pick. And then the Bills went and did a deal with the Eagles. And the Eagles, having signed Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Smith, basically said, Jordan Matthews, you're expendable, so we're sending you to the Bills with a 3rd-round pick. And then the Eagles got cornerback Ronald Darby, who's actually pretty good, to bolster up their defense. I just don't know what the Bills be doing, man. I really don't get it. But
they just want to lose, man.
I don't understand.
There's certain teams in the NFL that just want to lose, and that's like the Bills. That's like, who else? What other teams? There's the Bills, the Browns, I think the Bengals. What other teams that just want to lose? Every year, they just like, these niggas just want to lose. The Jets.
Jaguars.
Man,
did you see that clip of the Jaguars a few weeks ago?
Oh, what happened?
Oh, man. They were in training camp doing defensive lineman drills, and one of the D linemen went to hit the bag, the sled, and he maybe got grip of the sled for 1/10 of a second, and then he slipped over, and the damn sled almost fell over.
Well, see, that's just a whole omen of their fucking season. That's why they're trash.
Yeah.
So
there's that. Good for Sammy Watkins. I mean, he gets out of Buffalo, and your prize is you get to come to L.A.
Hell yeah.
Good for you.
Hopefully he's not a nuclear winter.
Right. So there's that. And then just about an hour ago, the NBA season has been officially announced.
Oh yeah. The schedule came out, right?
Yep.
Who you motherfuckers going against?
Well, it's 82 games.
I know, but who y'all opening night? Who y'all going against?
Opening night, we host the Clippers.
Oh wow! So whoop they ass.
Yep, that's what we're hoping for. We got another Christmas game. I will be very content sitting on my ass Christmas Day because the Raiders are in Philadelphia for the Monday night headliner.
So the Christmas is Christmas is on
Monday.
Monday.
Yep.
Oh. So we get football and basketball on Christmas?
Yep.
Hell yeah!
And so they get that game, and then a couple hours later, it's Lakers versus the Timberwolves for the Christmas night. I don't want to call it the headliner, but the nightcap.
You know you missed out another game. Come on, just say it.
What other game?
The Warriors and Cavs.
I don't care about them. They ain't my teams. I don't care.
I know, but I'm just...
I'm talking about my teams.
But he's talking about my teams. So fuck everybody else.
Yeah.
He's talking about my teams.
Damn about them. Fuck out of here. So yeah, those that, and of course, everybody wants to always talk about how the Lakers are relevant, yada yada yada. But the Lakers are number 5 when it comes to the most televised games this season at 35.
Well, with Lonzo playing, all eyes are going to be on him.
Yep, him, Brandon Ingram, the rest of the squad. So everything's looking hopeful with that. They recently had the Big Three, Ice Cube's Big Three tournament out here yesterday. I wanted to go, but then when I read reports about how Allen Iverson skipped one of the games and then stayed at the casino all night, I was like, I ain't paying my money for that shit. I ain't kiss my ass with that. But
just so you can see Ice Cube and your boy LeVar?
Well, it wasn't enough for me to go pay to see that.
How much was the tickets?
Tickets were like $32, but I wasn't gonna pay $32 just to see a shootout and all those other games. Like, you got to give me more for $32. $32, I could go take that to a rib shack and I could eat all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to give me more than that.
I guess I get you.
But I from my people who went, they said they had a good time. It was all in fun. So that was good. And then I feel like there's something else I'm missing when it comes to the NBA. Oh yeah, shout out to Kyrie. We all know
got a team now.
Nah, we all know how much love Kyrie has for Kobe Bean Bryant, and he's come out and said that the Kobe 5s are his all-time favorite shoe. So what he did was he collaborated with Kobe, and they did a spin-off of his Kyrie 3s, and they got the Bruce Lee edition. So them joints is yellow, and then it's the Roman numeral 3, but the Roman numeral 3 looks like it's nails carved in. So it gives like that. So it gives like that gutter Bruce Lee Mamba feel to it, and the kick's gonna be coming out pretty soon. So you know I'm gonna cop me a pair.
Shit. Speaking of Kung Fu, you saw Kung Fu Kenny this last week.
Yep, on Tuesday.
On a Tuesday, yeah. I went to the San Jose show. So, how was your experience?
My experience was cool. I mean, like I said, this is my 6th time seeing Kendrick. So I mean, there's really not much more he could do to, impress me, which says a lot because usually at that point I'm like, okay, I'm not paying for shows anymore. But anytime he comes around, I'm gonna pay for it.
You gonna pay for it,
right? And so, Drum was cool. It's always hard for an opener to open up when people are still coming into the arena.
Yeah.
But Drum held his own. Much respect. I still feel he's one hit away from going to that next level.
Up. Yeah. So how was the Travis Scott the mini rodeo?
This is my 2nd time seeing Travis Scott. You're always prepared for the rodeo, but you have to experience the rodeo.
And Staples, how did it come off?
Everybody, honestly, I think there was just as many people excited to see Travis Scott as there were to see Kendrick, in all honesty. I saw a bunch of Travis Scott shirts all around, or paraphernalia just all around. When he came on, he shut that shit down. And then, of course, the Phoenix Bird came out, and he attached himself to it, and when he did that, all hell broke loose.
Shit. Can you imagine if he would have had the Pablo set up? And he was just floating around.
Yeah.
Just, man, that would have been him and Kanye.
I'm afraid to think of that because he probably would have jumped off.
He would have been hanging on the fucking harness and shit.
Right.
Still rapping his shit. Oh, my God. I don't even want to think about that.
But yeah, he shut that down just like I expected him to. And then, of course, Kendrick came out. And then, I saw Coachella. And, I talked with you after you saw the show. And you were saying, it's basically the Coachella set. So, I mean, I knew what it was going into it. But it was dope because of, again, the atmosphere. And it was also cool because it was my sister's first time seeing the both of them. So I don't know which was more dope to see, like the actual show or just seeing how in awe my sister was. Because my sister was like, that show was like life-changing experience. Like that was a dope-ass show.
You didn't go to the Kuta Group session. You won life-changing shit.
Yeah, but, we lucked out. Not everybody was able to go.
By the grace of God,
yeah.
Shit. Yeah, go on. You did more to it?
It's nice. So that was basically it. Just another great show.
For me, I went to the San Jose show, and it was YG who was the opening act. I saw Drum this time. He was cool. Whatever. I took one of my homegirls. Another one of my homegirls. It was her first time ever seeing Kendrick Lamar, so I was like, "Fuck it, we'll bring you along."
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! And we saw YG, and YG shut it down, man. Everyone was ready for YG. He did his sets, he did BPT and shit like that. And he actually brought out a stripper pole, man. He brought out strippers.
Wow.
Yeah. And he brought out Kamaya for Why You Always Hating and shit like that. That was pretty dope. And then as soon as he was done, a fucking dude who dead on looked like that hoe ass nigga in Office came out on stage, and you would have thought he was there. Niggas booed the shit out of him. I thought they were going to rush the guardware. They booed the shit out of him. And he came out and yelled, "Fuck Donald Trump." And San Jose sang that shit from their soul. And of course, my petty ass said, "And Jed York." Everyone was looking around at me like, "Why are you saying Jed York?" Like, don't ask questions. But when Kendrick came out, I don't know what it was about San Jose, but I felt the San Jose show was more lit than the Oakland show. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Probably because it was his first time in San Jose.
No, it wasn't. He performed he opened for Yeezus.
No, I'm talking about his like first open
headline tour.
The headliner, yeah.
Yeah. He even said that too. He was like, "This is my first time headlining in San Jose." And that man, he did Levitate. He did all that shit. And it's just when he did Levitate, I just forgot. Oh yeah, that was a fucking throwaway track.
Yep.
That he was just working on for To Pimp a Butterfly, and he's performing it on stage. And what really impressed me is how deep he is on this tour, and he's still performing like it's still brand new. Mm-hmm. So this like Kendrick is just on a whole just other level, man. It was dope. This one was just more dope. He didn't bring out no Bay artists, which I'm still surprised about, but you know, it is what it is. And if we still talk about Kendrick, this motherfucker is still number one on the charts yet again.
Right back at it.
Right back at it, because I told you it's a slow month. It's a slow few months. So he's back on the charts, and I am just I said it on Twitter earlier today. I am surprised that I knew it was gonna sell. I didn't think he was gonna sell like this. I did not think he was gonna be this dominant. You know what I mean?
I had a feeling it was.
But this dominant, like this is he pretty much has the highest selling album of this year. Period.
I mean, I had a feeling it would do that just off the simple fact that To Pimp a Butterfly was it was critically it was universal. Not critically, it was universally acclaimed. Artistically, whether it was going to do what it did on the charts was a whole other story.
Well, that's because streaming wasn't as popular. That's what happened.
Right. Like Apple Music had just come out at that point.
It didn't come out. It was
thank you. It wasn't even out. It was still 3 months away from coming out.
Yeah, and they didn't count streaming to the charts yet. So,
right, and so you factored that in. Mm-hmm. Then you factor in the fact where now he might feel some type of way. People saying, he can't do nothing with the charts. So he's probably looking at it like, all right, well, for sure, challenge accepted. Let's do it. And this is what ended up happening. People ended up...
Loyalty is already playing on the radio.
Right.
Humble is still knocking off. And people are saying that the next thing, Element knocked off in there, DNA's knocking. And I was just thinking about what's going to be his next single.
As soon as he drops Love, man. As soon as he drops Love,
it's over. It's over. It's like the Vince Carter dunk. It's over. And maybe just attach God as a B-side track or whatever. It's over.
Right.
It's over. Like, he has it. And honestly, he's just keeping that spot nice and warm until Marshall comes out. Until his Aftermath co-worker comes back.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Like, first we said Hove had the album of the year, but the way this shit's shaping up, like, god damn, Kendrick. This is just, it's just so nice. So a lot of good music coming out, man, even though it's kind of just slow. And if we still stay on the topics of charts, shout out to Cardi B.
Miss Bodak Yellow herself.
Bodak Yellow. It was just announced today, this Monday, that she's pretty much number 8 on the Billboard. She's like she said earlier this year that one of her wishes in 2017 is to get a top 10 in the Billboard charts. And Bodak Yellow, with the help of the clubs and the viral streams and the viral Twitter and social media and the streams and shit, she is number 8 on the charts, and she is continuing to get higher and higher and higher. I made a prediction because you know me, I'm trolling Nicki fans.
Yep.
I am trolling Nicki fans, and I told these motherfuckers, fave this tweet. Cardi B is Bodak Yellow is gonna be the number 1 song in the country in the next few weeks. Fave this tweet, and everyone's going like, "Oh, but No Frauds peaked at number 14 and blah 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 blah." And now Bodak Yellow went to number 8, and they got very quiet. Not only that, she has the number 1 song on iTunes at this very moment.
Yeah,
of all genres. And if you look at the all genres charts, the top 10 is nothing but hip hop. That's fucking crazy. Well, it's not that crazy, but it's crazy. It's like, for once, hip-hop is really just dominating the charts again.
Oh, yeah. Man, that ain't nothing new. Been doing that.
But also, it's just funny to me because, we got to talk about Onika.
Yeah, it's no coincidence that with the news of Bodak Yellow rising and having the success it's having, she goes out on Twitter and releases a tweet basically saying, yeah, my album's not coming out anytime soon.
I'll read the exact tweet she said. I'll read it for you. Even though she has me blocked, I still get it because I'm petty like that. Where the fuck you at? I'm just going to find this. I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it.
You didn't even have it up.
No, because here he goes. She said, "Can't give you the album any sooner than I can give it," with a tear sad emoji face. Anyway, I'm leaving soon. I hope you'll be okay in my absence. Yeah, okay, your absence. She literally said that right when Cardi B comes out. Mm-hmm. And then, you know how I said last week how she's kind of posting videos of her listening to Bodak Yellow at the club and shit. And Joe Budden pointed this out on his podcast, and I had a feeling too this is why she's doing it. But he pretty much said, like, don't you find this kind of weird that she's posting this shit now? And then Cardi B comes out, she posts a meme saying, and like a little caption that says, "I'm ghetto but not dumb." Right?
Yep.
And then on Everyday Struggle, yet again, I feel like I'm like plugging their asses, but it is pause. I'm plugging them. I'm plugging them, but I saw it today pretty much at an event. Cardi B kind of just says like, "Yeah, I know that bitch trying to pretend we friends when you never really liked me. Fuck you, bitch." She didn't say no names, but pretty much you know who she was talking about. She was talking about Nicki.
Oh yeah.
She was talking about Nicki.
Oh yes.
So yeah, now that you're fucking hot going cold and shit like that, that's why you want to go. That's why you want to side with her all of a sudden. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Okay. And fucking and Joe Budden pretty much hit the nail on the coffin, and he just said that the label pretty much doesn't want nothing from Nicki right now because she's not producing, and it's common sense. All her singles flopped. If No Frauds was a #1 hit single, her album would pretty much drop. It pretty much would have dropped in November.
Definitely.
Or probably even sooner. It would have dropped sooner. But it didn't. She just kept focusing on trying to get at Remy, kept focusing on getting on Remy, and she lost focus. Like 3 things happened to Nicki Minaj this year that really caught her L. #1, her music declined. Her lyrics declined. Everything declined. #2, Sheether. And then number 2, Sheether, and all her singles flopped. And #3, the rising star of Cardi B, and she's pretty much about to get replaced. Y'all could talk about all them fucking singles. You could talk about all her stats from 2014 downward. But right now, she's about to be like Missy Elliott and all of them. She's about to get replaced.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't mean to go on that tangent, but it is what it is.
You've been waiting for that for a while.
I haven't been waiting for a while. And sometimes people go like, "Oh, you're on Nicki's nuts too much." No, I just love being right, and I just love smothering the truth in your face. That's all I like. That's all I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Cardi B though.
Yes, most definitely.
So you want to talk about Usher?
Yeah. Another update.
The Let It Burn update.
Yeah. So like I said, when we first started talking about Usher, it was the week where it just seemed like niggas couldn't say anything without getting in trouble or do anything. Mm-hmm. And then the reports keep coming on. And it's like, okay, well, let's wait it out. And then what was it? Last week when the pictures came out, she did a press conference. It was like, all right, let's see where it goes from here. Mm-hmm. Well, news just broke out recently, and I'm like, this bitch right here, man. And it takes a lot for me to say that because I don't call women that at all. But she's a legit liar.
Yep.
Big old liar.
I'm not really that surprised. No pun intended.
And for me, it wasn't even about how she looked in terms of her weight size because, we don't know these celebrities. We don't know what the hell they like behind closed doors. Yeah, they might have the model chicks in the videos, but we don't know what they actually like. Just like the fact that there's some of your favorite artists who are on the down low. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know. So to just go off a tangent just based off what you would take and what you wouldn't take is, to me, it's the stupidest thing ever because you're going to end up, it's going to come back to bite you in the ass at some point with somebody. So for me, it just came down to her word against his, and her word is just not holding up because she's saying that, they met at a Days Inn or something like that right after midnight, and Usher and his camp came out with a whole bunch of receipts talking about, yeah, this was the night that the meet and greet actually got pushed back later, and he was still taking pictures until damn near 1 o'clock in the morning. So how the hell would he have time to disappear, go to the Days Inn, and then come back and then get back on the road?
Damn, man. She really tried to get a come up, man.
Yep.
Can't be mad at that.
Yep.
But, she tried to cash in on Money in the Bank.
But Quintasia Sharpton, Shut your dirty hoe ass up, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, let it burn.
Literally let that burn. Like she no more credibility. And then you find out that she's all hugged up on other celebrities and all that kind of jazz.
She tried to get them all.
Yeah.
Damn.
She at some point, I think it was August Alsina. She claimed that she was pregnant with August Alsina's kid.
Damn.
Yeah. So
man, you gotta watch for these dirty Dianas, man.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's a dirty game, but it's like you said, you gotta know who you're dealing with.
True that. So, in this next segment, alright, if you guys watch Power, I think you guys might want to turn this off.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the description. I'll put a time limit when you could turn this back on, when you could just skip to it or whatever. But yeah. So as of right now, if you guys watch Power, I think you should just fast forward until you see in the description where you should listen to it again.
Now, if you do watch Power and you don't give a fuck, or you've already seen the spoilers,
you can keep listening.
You gonna listen and you gonna hear rants from the both of us.
Oh man, and that's gonna lead to another topic. But
yeah, so
but we gotta get it back.
The backstory took place when last week it got announced that somebody hacked in the Starz account and they leaked out the final 3 episodes of this season. Mm-hmm. Usually when all this stuff happens, a part of me's like, oh, okay, that's cool, I guess. And then the other part of me is like, why the fuck doesn't anybody hack into Sally Mae? Like something that could help everybody. Or
how about you rush into the Russian emails and shit like that, or Trump's whole ass emails and just leak out everything about how he cheated for the White House? How about that?
That too. Just something that would just benefit everybody. I mean, it's like I said, it's part of me was like, all right, it leaked. I'm gonna try to avoid it and stay away from it.
But it was on Twitter. Like it leaked. I saw it on Twitter and I was just scrolling. And luckily for me, my followers low-key didn't say what happened, but they just couldn't believe the shit leaked out like that. But a lot of them were going like, damn, I'm glad I watched the spoilers. So I was just like, all right. And pretty much what happened was that some dude had it and he was streaming it on Facebook Live from his computer. From his phone, showing it on another cracked iPhone screen.
Yeah. Like the inception of bootlegging on this.
And they actually watched it.
Right.
People actually went and watched the stream to see what happened. They wanted to be ahead of the curve. Like, I guess.
Now, like I said, I was trying to stay away from it, but lucky for me, air bubbles around the lucky. I'm going through Facebook the other day, and I just so happened to come across 3 clips of the videos, and one starts automatically playing. And when I tried to scroll away, my thumb hit it the wrong way, and the damn screen opened up. And
man, that was God.
As soon as it opened up, I see Raina laying on the floor with blood on her stomach.
Oh,
and I'm like,
that's how you saw it.
I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Not the fact she was dead. I was like, one of the kids is gonna die. And this is like, it didn't shock me on that. It was just, you gotta be kidding me. I just literally went to scroll through and now I know it happens. So it pissed me off that I saw it. Not because I saw it, but because I've seen it and I don't have the backstory leading up to it now.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, the hell with it. Went to the other 2 videos. I didn't watch the whole things. I just was just trying to scroll through and find pieces or whatever. And, as a result, Tariq becomes blood hungry, rightfully so. And he ends up finding Brains, so Kanan's right-hand dude who was always doing the crimes with them.
Beatbox homeboy or whatever. Jukebox, yeah.
And so he's the one behind it. So he ends up meeting up with Brains, has the gun to him. Brains is talking shit, basically saying, you're not going to do it, you weak. And all the while, Ghost, Tommy, and Tasha are chasing after him because at this point, I didn't watch everything, but at this point, it's kind of clear they know what's going on. So they're running up. And then right before it cuts out to the scene, Brains looks at a gun on the table, and then it flashes out, and then all of a sudden you just hear gunshots from the room. Ghost is ahead of Tommy. They're running up the stairway. When Ghost busts through the door, Brains is laying face down, literally with his brains blown out. And Tariq's just staring at him, and so Ghost, of course, runs over to him and embraces him. You know, son, are you okay? And he goes, yeah, I didn't have a choice. All while this is going on, Tasha's outside, and she actually sees the gun flashes in the room, so she knows where to go. Tommy then runs in, like, you know, oh my God, what's going on? Are you all right? Tasha comes through, like, you know, of course, everybody's embracing him. So when he's telling him what's going on, I had to do it. Tommy then, of course, you know, they're masterminds at this. Tommy then runs over, grabs the shell casings. Then they hear the police cars coming by. And this is where I completely lost it. Like, I could not stop laughing.
Okay.
Tommy then takes Brains, throws him on the carpet, and rolls his ass up like a super sushi roll.
What the fuck?
I couldn't stop laughing at it because then he's rolling him up, and then Tasha leaves mom mode and gets into, she just starts talking to Tariq like he's Ghost. Like, take your clothes off right now. And when he starts to, like, hesitate, she's like, give me your fucking stuff. Like, let's go. You know, we don't have time to waste. So once she said that, I turned it off because I couldn't stop laughing at Tommy just rolling his body up in the damn carpet like a fucking sushi roll. It was the funniest thing ever. And so, obviously I didn't see the complete ending. But yeah,
they said they didn't show the complete ending, but you got the gist.
You get the gist of it. Tariq is now a murderer. They all know, so now they're protecting them. And then, of course, episode 8 came out officially yesterday. So as I watched episode 8, now it becomes clear why Brains killed Raina. So Tariq's dumbass, still off the lean, calls up or texts up Brains like, hey, I'm down to hit a lick or whatever. He poses as a kid, inner city kid selling chocolate candies. They go to this woman's place. He gives the head nod that the coast is clear. Him and another dude start running up in there with guns drawn. Make it look like Tariq is an innocent bystander, and he punches the hell out of him in the stomach. And then when Tariq gets ready to leave, for some reason he goes back up, and the other guy's getting ready to rape the girl or the woman. And so then Tariq yells out,
old ass woman too.
So Tariq yells out, Brains, tell him to stop. Which, of course, you can't yell somebody's name out. So then they take off their
ski. I saw that. Like, why did you do that? Why?
So they take off their ski masks. Yeah, they take off their ski masks and they one shot to her head and she's dead. And Tariq dips out like he's gone. He just starts sprinting, running away. Brains is hitting him up, and then Ghost partially gets back into the game with Tommy to talk with the Jimenez siblings to get that deal done. Dre, you know, for as much of a snake as Dre is, honestly, I drew the parallel. I was like, this is probably what Ghost was like when he had an option to either kill Kanan or put him into jail. I was like, we're watching, as much of a snake as you're saying Dre is, we're actually watching how Ghost came up through Dre. So once I got that parallel, I was like, that was actually a well-written angle that the writers put in. And then, of course,
all down.
Yeah, I mean, might as well, shit. And then Angela, Donovan, and Sax, again, they all piece together that it's Sandoval. Once they do that, he goes to see Angela and tries to kill her. She ends up being fucking Chuck Norris and pulls the gun out without him seeing and pops him in the fucking shoulder. Doesn't kill him on purpose, as we later find out. And so she goes into Terry's office to let him know that Ghost is completely exonerated, and that he should tell Proctor. And so at that point, you're like, oh, she just wants to, just tell Proctor he was right. But then later on, you find out she knows that if they tell Proctor, Proctor's going to tell Ghost and Tommy, and they're going to realize Sandoval's a liability, so they got to get to him before he runs his mouth. So that's exactly what ended up happening. Terry told Proctor. Proctor then had a meeting with both of them. They all come to the conclusion that Sandoval's got to go. So while Sandoval's getting treated in the infirmary before he gets booked.
I think everyone watched this episode, bro.
Yeah, we might as well go into it. Might as well. I mean, shit.
the nigga died.
Yeah,
Angela killed him.
No, she didn't. It was a setup.
Him.
He got a slice right to the neck.
Yep.
And, his body's all laid out. Of course, the detectives get there, so everybody leaves, and Angela takes a squat down next to him and says in Spanish, that was for Greg, and she walks away.
I saw it. What? Shit. This show, man.
Yeah.
We might as well get into discussion. See, I saw Annabelle. I got out of watching Annabelle, and I was texting JC, and he was talking about his mom, about to go back to school, and I was being a smart ass and said Michael's better. So he goes like, "Oh, you say that again, I'm gonna spoil all power for you." So then I start guessing. Oh, let me guess. Angela dies? Nah, worse. Tasha? Nah. Then I really thought about it. Like, what's worse? And I was like, what? His daughter died? I just literally just guessed it, and he was like, "Yep." I was like, what the fuck? And then he just ran down the whole ending, and I was like, what? No, that pissed me off. I was low-key glad that he told me, because that's gonna piss off when that episode airs. It's gonna probably piss off a lot of people.
Yeah.
And also now what's it called? It came out that 50's pretty Stars 50 said that Stars is accusing him for fucking leaking it. And honestly, with everything that's going on with him and Stars and shit, I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
Whatever they say he did, he did that shit.
He did that shit.
Guilty as fuck.
Guilty as fuck. He did that shit. And pretty much this show was so good. It had so much potential. Everything was so good about this show. It's like you can literally pinpoint when the show was going downhill. And that was when Kanan gave the gun to Ghost. That's when you can literally pinpoint exactly what happened. Like, whoa, what? And it didn't make sense. And then he killed Jukebox, and then he said, "See you around, little nigga."
Get you around, little nigga.
Get you around, little nigga. And then that was it. And it was just like, hold up, what? I don't like where this is going. Then the next episode happened, and I was just like, I don't like where this is going. And then the episodes leaked out, and I'm like, oh my God, this is where it's going. It literally jumped the shark. Tyreek is one of them now. That little hoe ass nigga is one of them now. What the fuck? That's gonna piss off people, dog. That's gonna turn people off from the show. I mean, they're still gonna watch it. They're still going to watch the show for obvious reasons, see what's going to happen. But next season, it might as well be the last season. It has to be the last season. Like, come on, you shot his daughter. That was the one that just came out of nowhere. Of everybody, you shot his daughter.
Yeah.
Why? And then and the death of the daughter, because honestly, there was really no use for her. So she had to die, I guess.
Yeah.
And I saw the scene. I watched the scene because I just looked it up, and he just randomly shot. She got in his face and said, "Yeah, you need to leave him alone." Da 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 da. She was kind of being all brave, and old boy just looked at her. What the fuck? And shot her right in the chest in slow motion, and they had like little R&B music playing. Oh no! But I was just love an angel, pretty much just the black version of that. And I was just looking at that like, what? Like, are you fucking serious? That's how they're gonna do this shit. That's how you're gonna do this shit. Oh man, I really like Power. I really do. I still like it, but it was just like they're gonna kill it. They're gonna kill this show. And then you even said when you were watching it, my voice was in your head. Like, yeah, you could tell a woman wrote this shit.
Yep, it was exactly what you said when Kanan handed him the gun. You were so pissed off. You go, man, you could tell a woman wrote this shit. And
I'm not trying to be sexist or anything like that. I don't want. It may come off that way. Shit, it is that way. It may come off, but this is such a gangster ass show. And you prolonged it for so long. That's how you want to do it because the power of friendship and the power of family and the power of love. That's some shit a woman would write. Mm-hmm. I'm just, fuck Tyreek. It's that whole ass nigga in office, Jed York, and Tyreek in that order. Yep. That's who. It was such a great show, and I don't know when these episodes air. I don't know, man. People are going to be either pissed off or intrigued, or at this point they're in too deep. They might as well just keep watching.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on that line where it's like, all right, let's see what happens in season 5.
Because that's pretty much what it is. Like in certain TV shows, you can literally pinpoint when you just stopped watching. Like for example, Empire. You literally stopped watching after the season finale of the first season.
Yep, I was done.
Yeah, I was kind of like, no, let's see where it goes. And I started watching the second season, and I was like, yeah, no. And I just stopped watching. I don't know why it still comes on at this point. Barely anybody talks about it now. Yep. It wasn't. I remember at one point it was like a big phenomenon. Now it's kind of just barely even mentioned. And there's another show that really just pissed me off after a certain season. Because there's another topic we can talk about, like TV shows that we just hated by the end of it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, for example, for me, I can speak for everybody. It's the 5th season of Martin.
Yeah. See, for me, it's that one's a touchy situation because that had nothing to do with the writers or something petty
or the network or nothing. It had to do with Martin. He was going through his demons.
For those who don't know, during one of the intimate scenes, Martin had gotten very forceful with Tisha Campbell's character Gina, because for those who don't know, they actually had a fling off of TV, and she had turned it. She eventually ended it and she chose Dwayne Martin, and it pissed him off.
Irony, irony of a dude named Martin.
Yeah, and of course, it pissed him off. So he got forceful and was saying, pretty much fuck Dwayne Martin. I'm the one for you, and it led to her getting a restraining order against him. And the only way she was coming back was she made it clear, I'll come back if I don't have to do any scenes with him.
So throughout that whole season, if you guys remember, Martin and Gina were kept separated.
Yeah.
And they only talked to each other on the phone and shit in separate scenes.
And that's how.
And it was so awkward.
That's how the storyline of Gina getting the job out in L.A. took place before Martin got transferred out and all that stuff.
And it was so awkward because they had so much chemistry, man.
Yeah.
So much chemistry, and it fucked up the whole flow of the show.
No, it definitely did. But that's one of those ones where I'm like, there's legalities in that. Like it's
Well,
too close to home.
Another season I really just do not like talking about is what, the 4th season?
4th season of the Boondocks.
The 4th season of what? I hate calling it that. I call it the lost episodes. That's how much I hate that. It's not. It's the 4th.
The lost episodes usually consists of 2 to 5 episodes. This had 10 episodes. It was planned. This is a 4th season.
You can clearly tell that Aaron McGruder had nothing to do with it.
Nothing.
And I hated that. I hated that fucking season with so much passion. Because I was excited, like, hell yeah, Boondocks coming back. And then they said Aaron McGruder has nothing to do with it. And I was like, ugh. And then you saw the first episode and you were just like, ugh. And then that slavery episode, that's when I was done.
Yep.
That's when I was completely done with the show. Like, what the fuck? I knew Aaron McGruder would never write that shit. They literally killed Huey and Riley and Grandpa with that shit. The whole character, they just destroyed it. I fucking hated that season. I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you? What other show that you just got irritated about?
The last season of Moesha. So
okay,
if you don't remember, it was very lighthearted and comedy. It was about fun. They would throw in some serious moments because, of course, they were in South Central LA. So you're dealing with that. Season 5, they legit they wanted it to be a drama so badly. And I'll never forget how it ended. It just how
randomly ends.
Miles gets kidnapped, and we have a feeling that it's Hakeem and Moesha who are pregnant, but they don't get a chance to say it. And Moesha passes out, and that's the last time we ever see from them on that show. Like, literally.
And that's when UPN canceled the series?
Yeah, because the same thing happened with the Hughleys afterwards. The Hughleys, they were stranded on a boat at sea, and then Daryl came out and said that he had a kid out of wedlock in secret, and then all of a sudden the show that disappeared too.
Damn, that's some more fucked up shit. That's how they canceled their shows?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
And of course, there's no way of knowing what the hell's going on because a good portion of the characters in Moesha are now dead.
Yeah, or in jail.
Yeah,
or just gone crazy.
Lamont Bentley, who played Hakeem, he was killed in mid-2000s when his car flipped over the over-ramp.
Yeah, I remember that.
Who else was it?
Didn't a female die off that show?
Yeah, Adele. Whoever had the store or the shop that they all hung out at.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
She passed away. Of course, Bernie passed away, who was her uncle.
Yeah, damn.
There's a bunch. Yeah, it's just a bunch of people. Miles is doing domestic disputes and at this point and everything. So I mean, it's just
Fredo Starr is still just doing his Googles.
Yeah, Fredo Starr. I mean, Fredo Starr's got a placement on ASAP 12B's album. So
yeah, he's doing all right.
Yeah, he's still out there.
And Brandy going crazy and shit.
Yeah, so I mean, that was one where I was just like, seriously, like you just gonna end like that? And another one, I'll probably say my last one. Everybody knows I'm a big fan of Ratchet Television. Love and Hip Hop is amazing, but this last damn season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, it was a chore to get through.
Don't you hate that? Don't you hate that when you see certain shows and you just love it so much and you just gotta watch it hoping it's gonna get better and it just doesn't?
It just doesn't. It's just it was just so. Cleo told me never to say this again, but I was like, yo, they all just got stale. And she was like, JC, don't ever refer to a woman as stale ever again. And I was like, that's what happened. Like, they're all stale. Nothing good is going on.
Yeah.
And
go on.
Yeah, it's just and the new women they brought on they brought absolutely nothing to the table other than they were just sleeping with other women's husbands and everything like that. Like nothing got brought of significance to the table. And it was just one of those ones where as soon as it ended, I was like, thank you, God, but you still didn't answer a lot of questions that needed to be answered.
See, that's how I felt for the last season of Xena the Warrior Princess.
Never saw.
Yeah, you never saw, but I love that series. Yeah, I loved it better than Hercules. In the first 5 seasons, it was great television, one of the greatest shows on cable TV. Shout out to Lucy Lawless. But it got to the point when we got to like the 4th season, when she had her kid, and it was like one big ass epic shit where she killed all the Greek gods and her daughter was like the key to shit. It was some epic shit.
Mm-hmm.
They did a whole lot of shit for that season, and it kind of shaped it to be like the last season because the ratings were because the network kept changing the time slots and changing it. It was hard to find what the show was at one point. Even for me, I got really irritated with it, but people watched it. And then when they ended it, she killed all the gods, and it was almost like it almost felt like a conclusion. Because if the series got canceled, this would be like one epic ass conclusion. But the fans were so demanding. They wrote the network. They demanded that they do a 5th season. So they said, "Okay, we'll bring it back." So everyone came back, and then it kind of just the 5th season. There was no real big story arc. It was just Xena. The adventures of Xena, just random ass adventures with her and her partner Gabrielle.
Interesting.
And it was just like they just did random shit, and there was no big plot point. And then they had the series finale, which was like a fucking 90-minute movie, and she died, and she couldn't bring her back, and it was like one way to write her off the show, and it was just like, it was disappointing.
Wow.
I was like, it kind of did become a chore to watch because you were kind of waiting for a big storyline to happen, and there was no storyline. Because in all the seasons, there was always one big story arc, but this one there was no big story arc. It was just, it was like the bad guy of the week type of shit.
Wow.
So, it is what it is. And then there was another show that really irritated me. That really did not. There was Nip Tuck. When they got to like the 4th and 5th season, that became like a chore. Because I really did like that show, but that literally became like a chore.
Yeah.
And the last season of True Blood. Ah, man. I know you never watched that.
No.
But
I guess you could throw on 13 Reasons Why for me.
But that's just one season.
Now they're going to have a 2nd season, remember?
Yeah, but still.
I only lasted through 1 season of Empire, and I was done after that.
True. And we might as well just go into movies.
The Happening, man. The
we
Happening.
Can agree on that. Fuck that movie.
The Happening.
You started off, because man.
I don't remember much about it. That's how horrible it was. Just your pretty much
brought it up. On your going away party, your sister brought it up. Yeah, ask JC about the Happening.
Yeah, what is it, like anthrax or some disease that comes in the air?
It was the plant. It was no disease or nothing. It was just
whatever.
The trees.
Some tree had some venom in it or whatever, and when it gets inside your mind, it makes you want to kill people and yourself. It was spreading across the world, and of course, Mark Wahlberg is invincible. He fights Transformers, so nothing can stop him.
No, but his acting in that movie, bruh.
Yeah, well, I'm getting to that. I'm just giving the backstory. And, he meets up with some other woman. They run across the country, and people are killing themselves in front of him. And they're just trying to find refuge. Where it literally broke down for me was at one point, this dude who caught it, he turns on a lawnmower and then he just lays down and waits for the lawnmower to run
John
over.
Leguizamo. That was John Leguizamo.
Okay.
Cut his wrist.
Okay. No, Leguizamo cut his wrist. I'm talking about the dude that laid down in front of the lawnmower and let it run over.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So then they start shooting themselves down a hill. So then there's a group of people around Mark Wahlberg like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And he's just like, just give me a second to think. There's kids down there. They're killing themselves. Somebody just give me a moment to think. Oh my God, they're going to start spreading. What happens? Somebody just please let me think. Oh my God, they're killing them. It's not going to stop. Will somebody give me a goddamn moment and let me think? And at that point, I was like, I busted up and started laughing. I was like, the hell with this movie, man. Just let this shit dash out.
The acting was so terrible because Mark is such a good actor.
See, I was at Blockbuster at the time. I don't know if I just waited for this to be one of my free rentals or if me and my sister actually went to the movie theater to see it. All I know is her and I watched it together and we just could not stop laughing. And when that happened, I just told her, just let me know how the rest finishes. And I just completely zoned out. I actually saw this shit at the movie theater because I was a fan of M. Night Shyamalan or Shyamalan. I kind of liked at the time Shyamalan, however you say his damn name. I liked The Sixth Sense. I hated the ending to The Village. I didn't see Signs when I was a kid. I loved the damn movie, and then until I got older and saw how terrible that shit was. Killed aliens by water. The fuck? Yeah.
And then. I was just like, okay, so I'm gonna see that happening, and I was seeing the trailer, and they're all going like, "Oh, it's the first R-rated movie in M. Night Shyamalan's career and shit." So I'm like, okay, I saw this shit halfway in the movie. I'm like, oh, this is horrible. This is fucking horrible. The acting was terrible. And I'm like, they greenlit this shit? Mm-hmm. They had test audiences watch this shit? They approved this shit? What the fuck? And then it got to the point where I was literally about to get up and leave. Like, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave. This is terrible. And right when I was about to get ready to leave, I saw those kids get shot by the shotgun. Hella randomly. I don't know why, but I just sat back down like, well, I might as well just watch the rest. And that movie was terrible. Fucking terrible. I hated that movie. And that's one of my top movies I really just hated. And there's another movie that I really just hated. There was Sucker Punch by Zack Snyder, who made that. You seen Sucker Punch?
Nope.
The guy who made... No, don't see that bullshit. It was about this one chick... Okay, you seen 300, right?
Yep.
Not 300. Watchmen.
Yep.
You seen Watchmen?
Of course. Good
okay.
movie.
He's the director of that.
Okay.
And he's doing he's directing the whole DC movies and shit right now. But he did this one movie where it was just all extravagant. I remember seeing the trailer. I saw fucking Vanessa Hudgens and a whole bunch of other females doing all sorts of like fucking gangster shit with guns, flying in the air, shooting people, karate, fucking missiles, jets. It was like fucking amazing, right? So I'm like, okay. So then I see the fucking movie and it's like retarded Inception. That's the best way to describe it. Because she goes to this little brothel or whatever, and they tell her, and she's in a trance. So you go into her mind, and in her mind, she's in a brothel. So then when she goes to the brothel, they say, hey, you gotta dance for them. So she gets in another trance, and then she starts dancing, and then it goes into her eye, and then she's in complete retarded nation. My apologies for that. But she goes really just dumb, and she's daydreaming of her being a complete superhero badass. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there, and I'm going like, oh, this is going to be the whole movie, is it? Oh my God, this is terrible. Oh my God, this is terrible. Because none of the shit made sense. None of it made sense, JC. Yep. I saw people get up and walk out of the theater. I was one of them.
Yep.
It was that terrible,
yep.
That bad. It pissed me off because one thing I do not like about certain movies is if you mess with my intelligence. If you mess with my intelligence, it's gonna make me mad.
Right.
So I got up and walked away, and I was pissed. I went to work pissed off.
Of course.
So then another movie that really pissed me off, Sinister 2. You remember Sinister, right?
Yeah, I never watched them though.
Yeah, but the first movie, creepy as fuck. Ethan Hawke was in it. The guy who made Paranormal Activity produced it and directed it. I was such a creepy movie. I loved the first movie. So then they did a sequel, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be good. Wrong. Movie was terrible. Terrible. It pissed me off too. The acting was terrible. The scares were cheap. Everything didn't make no damn sense. That pissed me off. And when the movie ended, I was pissed off even more. That's that.
You got me on a level of pistacity.
That's a T. Just those 3 movies. I think I'm missing one, but those movies pop up the most when it comes to movies that legit pissed me off. And it was like at that moment, I was like, why do these movies really do get made? And we got
this is the happening. For me, it's a good portion of Tyler Perry films.
I can understand why. I mean, Tyler Perry doesn't make that bad movies.
They're horrible. Let's just call it for what it is. When the Boondocks dropped the episode pause, I laughed the whole episode because there was not
mean. When he came down to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, I was like, oh, come on, Aaron, that's mean. That's just mean.
Yeah, it was mean, but it's not something that you could just say, oh, it's not true. Shit.
I know. That's why I said that's just mean.
Like the perfect epitome of a Tyler Perry movie was captured by the Boondocks when Ma Dukes calls out Jamal on set and says, Jamal, and he comes out and says, yes, Ma Dukes, and she smacks him with the gun and says, I just had to smack the shit out of somebody for no reason. I was like, that is a fucking Tyler Perry film in its epitome right there.
Oh my God.
There's a good portion I do like and I can tolerate.
Like what movie? What movie did you like? What
Medea's Family Reunion. Daddy's Little Girls was all right. Madea Goes to Jail. I like Madea Goes to Jail. That was I
like that movie till the ending. Because like I said I told you this before we recorded. With Tyler Perry movies, when he in his script or how the movies go, it has a perfect intro. It tells a great story in the middle, and then when it gets to not great story, but it keeps you watching. You know what I mean? It has a story, and then when it gets to the ending, he just rushes it, and then it's the end credits.
Yeah, see, for me, it's all. Aaron Magruder said it best. It's all predictable. You know what the hell is about to happen. There's always a damn woman who you cannot stand, and she finally gets hers at the end. When the film is focused on a woman, it's obviously a man who you can't stand, and he gets his in the end. And then when it's a film about Madea, the shit just is all over the place. Yeah, man. So I mean, outside of those 3 I mentioned, those can easily be counteracted with his film Good Deeds. I didn't even finish that one.
Good Deeds.
Yeah, that was god awful. A Madea Christmas, and then Boo, a Madea Halloween. Which
you watched that?
No, I did not. But I saw the clips of it, and I'll tell you that. As horrible as it was, they're actually going to release Boo 2, a Madea Halloween, this Halloween.
I guess Tyler Perry made his. I don't understand. I know Medea's is cash cow, but he made some other good movies like A Family That Prays. That was pretty decent.
That was all right. And of course, Diary of Mad Black Woman set it all off.
That was the first one.
Yeah.
Meet the Browns was decent.
Yeah, but
and then another one was good. Oh, Confessions of a Marriage Counselor.
Nah,
you remember that one?
I didn't watch that one.
I watched that one. That was pretty decent. Besides the ending,
Medea's Witness Protection.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
And then there was that other one.
He just needs to kill Madea at this point.
Yeah,
I've been saying this for the longest time. I know it's his cash cow. I know he does it during his plays and shit. But he makes too much money now. He needs to kill that bitch.
Medea's Big Happy Family was the one that pissed both of us off.
Oh my God! Yeah, that came out around the same time Spike Lee was talking his shit.
Yeah,
and I went to see that because I was like thinking, Spike Lee, man, you just a hater. And I went to go see that just to support Tyler Perry because I like supporting our black people. But then I sat and watched that shit, and I was like, this proved this point. Yep. It was so much coonery in that shit, like Tiana Taylor getting that bow wow, Byron. Oh my God, that was just terrible. That was the whole movie was terrible act. There was really no point to it. Yep. Like the whole movie, even the ending was dumb. It was just bad.
It's horrible. God awful.
Terrible.
That for me is Tyler Perry films, man. I mean, I'll never talk down on a man that's hustling legally. So props to him, especially his story. Coming from sleeping in the car and alleys and stuff like that to being where he's at. Props to him, but at the same time, I ain't gotta kiss his ass and bow down to the product when the product is trash. You know what I mean? Like,
he's getting that Oprah money now. So
he has a lot of shows. Good for him, but the product is trash. Which is, we gonna call it what it is.
Black folks still watch it, man. So.
Yeah, black folks still watch Empire.
Yeah, a little small amount. There's like a little. There's gonna be a certain small amount that's gonna watch Power, and we gonna watch it too.
It's definitely ain't telling me much, but yeah, it does for films, and then we get into albums, man.
Worse. Okay, you started this time. I did it before.
Yeah, I easily have the most unpopular take when it comes to if you're reading this, it's too late.
Oh, it's not that unpopular. You know, to me, it's kind of just like, really? So out of all the albums.
So here's my backstory when it came out, because at the time it came out, the word around the water cooler was this is coming out this way because it fulfills Drake's contract with Cash Money, and he'll be free to do what he wants because of the whole situation with Birdman and Wayne. And so from that standpoint, I was like, you know what? Let's see what he comes through with. And I listened to the album and I was like, oh man, this is mediocre at best. Like, this isn't even good. But you know what? It's a power move. I respect it. You gave Birdman bullshit and said, I'm out. Like, I can actually respect that. Like, I respect the power move as an A. The music is clearly an F. So it'll be a C++, but because the power move is so big, I'll give it a B-.
Man, you look at the Yang.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was what I was running with. And then over the next week, Twitter just pissed me the fuck off. Okay. Everybody talking about this is Drake at his best. This is awesome. He can't be stopped. And I'm like, we talking about the same fucking album? The same one where the last 3 albums, this nigga wanted us to feel sorry for him because he's crying at night because one of his former lovers is in Marvin's room. And now I'm supposed to believe. And
now he's swinging.
Now I'm supposed to believe I got enemies. He's got a lot of enemies and shit like that. Like, I'm supposed to believe this shit now? Like, get the fuck out of here. And as the album goes on, I went and replayed it because I was like, oh, maybe there's something I'm missing. Nope, it ain't me. It's all y'all. It's all y'all.
It's all y'all.
The best damn song on this album doesn't even have Drake's vocals on it.
It's Kick Back Around the Block.
For this, I will call him by his name. Wednesday Night Interlude by Party Next Door. That is the best song on this project. Everything around it, I will give some points to 6 p.m. in New York just because it's a part of that collection he has in the series. I'll give some points for that. Company with Travis Scott is some days it's all right. Everything else, I'm like, yo, this is...
I mean...
It's not what you expect from somebody of this caliber. I'm sorry.
For me, I enjoyed it, but if you just get rid of all like the whole Quentin Miller shit and look at it for what it is, I enjoyed it for what it is, and I saw it as like a rough draft of views. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells me. That album was a rough draft, and when Drake re-listened to it, he was like, nah, I gotta go a different direction. And he just released that.
Well, see, it should have been marketed as that then.
Yeah, of course, but you know he didn't want to say that, so he just wanted to call it a mixtape.
And then to make matters even worse, he's still on Cash Money.
Yep. So 3 albums in, he's still there.
So once Hotline Bling came out, and of course it shows copyright, it still says Cash Money. I went back to this album and I was like, this is a full fucking F. There was no damn power move to this shit.
Well, you hated that album. One album, I've always talked about it, and it still brings me so much anger every time I just look at it or I just think about it. It is Nicki Minaj's sophomore album. Ugh, I'm just looking at the cover right now. It's pissing me off.
Roman Reloaded?
Yes.
Shit, as bad as Roman Reloaded was, I'll take that over the Pink Print.
Pink Print wasn't that bad.
Pink Print was garbage.
Pink Print was not that
garbage.
Bad. Compared to this shit?
I will take that over garbage Pink Print easily.
You would listen to Roman Holiday over this.
I listened to it for 10 seconds and I skipped to the next song.
Come on a Cone, that's 10 more seconds.
And then you get to Bees in the Trap.
I Am Your Leader.
I Am Your Leader. I'll fast forward to Cam's verse.
And then skip Rick Ross's. Hove Lane was trash. Roman Reloaded was nah. Champion was the only good track
Champion
on this album
was
Drake, Jeezy, and Nas.
Right.
And then Right By My Side, that's when the album was starting to become a little poppy. And then Sex in the Lounge with Lil Wayne and Bobby Valentino. Fucking gay ass.
Wee.
Yeah,
he went that wee.
He went that wee. Not that hee, but that wee.
But see, for me, I actually like her better when she goes that pop route.
You like Starships?
Yeah, like some of that stuff is actually...
I wish you could see the look on my face right now.
Yeah, like, I don't know what the hell you said or I said, but it clearly got my Alexa Echo talking back to me. But clearly she heard how pissed off you were, and she said something that I can't comprehend. Yeah, Starships all right. Pound the Alarm was cool.
That shit was trash. No, from Starships
Stupid Hoe was just
down.
garbage. Turn Me On with David Guetta was the one.
I'm talking about the album that I hated this fucking album, JC. I absolutely fucking hated this album.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a good album, but I'm saying if you gave me the option between this and the Pink Print, I'm going to take this easily.
You crazy, bro.
Nah, Pink Print was garbage.
Pink Print was not that bad, bro.
Pink Print's garbage. Let's stop.
Anyway, let's just go. Let's just talk about Pink Friday. Let's talk about Roman Reloaded. For me, when I heard Pink Friday, I actually enjoyed that because I was going like, okay, Nicki's showing her potential. She's coming off the heels of Monster and all the features she's on. This was a good, pretty decent debut album. So you know what? I can't wait for her sophomore. So then the next year when they said, oh, my new album's coming, I was like, already? Like you just gonna rush out a new one? Mm-hmm. I mean, what was the record that popped off? Super Bass. When Super Bass popped off, I can understand why. I was like, all right, whatever. And she's calling it Roman Reloaded. So I'm thinking this is going to be Pink Friday again, just with fucking bonus tracks. No, it was a whole other album. And I was like, okay. And then the first single that dropped was Stupid Hoe. Now, if you go on fucking YouTube, when that video, I will never forget when that video dropped. It had thousands upon thousands of dislikes. Mm-hmm. It was bad. Mm-hmm. The whole video, the song was bad. The video was terrible. It was one of those videos where Safari had to take her aside and be like, yo, this ain't a good look. But you know, she just said, fuck it. She said, oh, I worked really hard on this album. And when I heard when I heard the first track, I'm listening, I'm like, ugh. No, this is what started it. You remember her fucking Grammy performance?
Yep.
Oh my God, that was the first and last time she performed at the Grammys. Yep. Because that shit was that shit scared everybody. And she's been back, but she never won another Grammy. She hasn't even won a Grammy yet. And it was just that song. I was like, what the fuck? And she put that shit on the album. Take your medication, Roman. Not
only did she put it on the album, that was the opening track.
There was the opening track. And I remember when I first heard it, I pressed stop. What the fuck is this? The fuck is this? And then
Busby, who cares? All the Nicki stans will tell you that she sold all those records, so who cares?
No, fuck that shit. So then I started listening. When I kept listening more, there was no growth. I was like, this is like Pink Friday throwaways. Like, what the fuck? And then I get the Champion, and I was like, okay, this is pretty damn good. And then it just goes downhill. And then when it got the Starships down, it became super pop. She sold out just that quickly. I was so disappointed and so angry with her for that shit. It was fucking terrible. And I hated that album. And I don't know why it's still on my laptop to this day. I have it just to remind myself of when she fell off. I literally pinpointed exactly when there was the pinpoint of when I looked at her weird. It was when she dropped that trash. She got greedy. That's what happened. At the Super Bass, she got greedy and she made a whole bunch of pop tunes hoping that shit was going to pop off. In the words of Austin. That shit was and it pissed me off to this day. I even wrote a review about it, and I think that's what prompted Nicki to block me on Twitter. Because I was going in on her. Because I hated that shit. Yeah. I hate that damn album. Fuck that album.
Yeah, that shit was garbage. But like I said, as garbage as it was, I would still take that over Pink Print.
I don't know why you would.
Pink Print is horrible.
What makes that album horrible to you?
Everything.
The whole album?
The whole album's garbage.
Man, you said I mean,
when you have Beyonce on the album, and even that song's mediocre.
Beyonce wasn't on the album.
On Pink Print, yes, she was. So I'm feeling myself.
Oh yeah, she was, huh?
See,
shit.
That just raises my point. When Beyonce's on the album and it's still mediocre, nah, man, nope. That just you prove my point. I don't have to say anything more.
Well, let's just look at the tracks since we're on this topic. Let me look at the Pink Print.
You don't even remember what's on the Pink Print until you look at the tracks.
Truffle Butter.
Of course, and that's the last track as a bonus track.
Anaconda. Let's see, what else? What was another one?
Don't name the singles. Just name the deep tracks.
Only. Okay, Want Some More. Want Some More, it's knocked. Four-Door Aviator, that was pretty decent. She rapped her ass off on that. Well, Safari probably did. She should have took off Trinidad Girls because it led right into we already had a track with Anaconda, which is still trash. Pills and Portions was trash. Bed of Lies was decent.
That one was trash.
Grand Piano, yeah. Big Daddy trash. Shanghai was decent. That's when they got to all the fucking. But when they got to all the throwaway, because she put too many tracks on that shit. 22 motherfucking songs. Yeah, she was stupid for that.
This is garbage. This is complete garbage. Waste of time.
Well, what other albums were we really just didn't really like? There was
Encore.
the Pinpoint albums.
Encore for me. Eminem,
yeah, disappointing.
Encore.
Yeah, I can understand. I know why. We talked about it on the fucking.
Yeah.
Well, you said that Relapse. You take Encore over Relapse.
Relapse isn't even worth diving into for me.
Damn. Fuck you.
Yeah. So we'll go with Encore.
Yeah, we already touched on that, and we might as well talk about it now. Go ahead.
All right. So this is actually pretty funny because this is actually before Busby and I even met. We were talking about this a few months ago.
We talked about after we recorded the first episode of this show.
Was it? Oh, okay. So it was last year. We were going through albums, and I happened to come across Slaughterhouse's second album, Welcome to Our House.
Welcome to Our House.
And I asked him, I said, how did you feel about this album? Like, honestly. And he said, you know what? When it was coming out, I hyped the fuck out of it because I wanted them to win so badly. And then some months later, I went back to listen to it, and I just said, oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, God. Oh, man. What the fuck is this? And I'm laughing the whole time because I'm like, that was basically my reaction too. I wanted them to win so badly that I ignored the shit that they actually put on that album.
Yeah, man. It's fuck. I hate talking about it. I bought that fucking album.
I bought it too.
Man.
I bought the digital, and I went to the store and bought the copy.
Damn. You took a double L.
That's how much I rode for Slaughterhouse, which that's why, honestly, it pissed me off when Joe Budden blocked me, because I was like, the fuck I do to you? I didn't do anything to you. I've been backing y'all. Man, fuck you.
I mean, he's on the unblocking spree.
No,
so
I'm still blocked, so.
Well, just ask him to unblock you.
Nah, whatever.
It's not that serious.
It ain't that serious.
Yeah, that album... I still am a fan of Slaughter. I was happy when they got signed to Shady, and I was like, yeah, okay, you gonna? And then I remember I was listening to interviews, and I listened to what was the single? Not that CeeLo single. That was the red flag.
Hammer
that
Dance,
CeeLo
man. Hammer Dance was
Hammer Dance. Yes.
Hammer Dance set it off
with the corn sample and shit like that. Do 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 do. Yeah, that's your phone ringing?
Yeah, I'm about to turn this shit off right now.
Ah, shit. Yeah, on the house, not on the house, Welcome to Our House, while JC goes and turns off his phone, because I could hear it from here. Yeah, Welcome to Our House. I'm bringing it up right now. Yeah, man, I really wanted them to fucking win. I really did, because I knew Eminem signed with him and shit, and I remember Hammer Dance, and I was like, okay, the video was gritty, and I'm going, okay, and they were saying in interviews, yeah, Em is just gonna let us be ourselves, and he's gonna let us do what we want to do. So I was like, all right, okay, and then they released My Life with CeeLo Green. Now, I remember when I first heard the song. That should have been a red flag right there.
Yeah.
Because that shit was just, on hindsight, that song was trash. That song was really trash. No, it wasn't as trash as the later track. What was the song? Park It Sideways? Fuck that song. I fucking hate that damn song. But that's neither there. So then when the album came out, I'm listening to it, and it low-key felt like an upgraded D12 album. With the production and everything, all the shit that made Eminem great on Recovery, M tried to do that to Slaughterhouse, and on Welcome to Our House, it just didn't work. Looking in hindsight 2020, it really just didn't work.
Yeah, it was, man.
Really, just looking back, it was really, really disappointing because I was really pulling for Shady 2.0. Same when Yellow was little Shady debuted out on Radioactive. That shit was like
we were all pulling for him.
And, they all just faded to black.
Yeah, so, shit, let's just give it a rundown, man. It got to...
you really...
Yeah, might as well.
I guess.
So we got to get Our House with Skylar Grey, and it's slow starting off, and it is what it is. And then we get to Coffin with Busta, and then it picks up. So you're like, yeah, okay. All right, if I'm feeling this.
Throw that.
Started off cool, and then when you realize what the hook was...
I'm gonna put that thing on you. I'm gonna put that dick on you, girl.
Blind Day. And I was like, nah.
Hammer Dance, of
Hammer
course.
Dance, yes. Get Up was forgettable. My Life, they tried so hard. They really
you
did
could
try.
tell they tried so hard. Even in the video, it was like it was looking back at that, it was so cringeworthy. Like, what the fuck is this?
Flip a Bird was decent.
Yeah.
Flip a Bird was decent. Throw It Away was, you can throw that shit away. Rescue Me was actually a highlight for me.
Oh yeah, the beat was dope, and they were all ripping.
Frat House was golly. God, man. Goodbye was obviously the strongest track on this album. Very personal.
Park It Sideways was so fucking trash. I hated that record. I really hate that damn record. I even helped do a review with my boy King Elijah, and I really told him I really hated that record. The only person who kind of came hard on that track, was Crooked Eye. But other than that, that song was so trash. It was like a victory lap album and shit. Record.
Really, the reason why I became a big Slaughterhouse fan is I got respect and admiration for all four of them.
Yeah.
But for those who know me, Crooked Eye will forever be on my top 10 most underrated, just period.
Low key, Crooked Eye carried the album.
Right. And so for me, as cringeworthy as this was, it's exactly what Busby just said. For me, it was like the confirmation that Crooked Eye could actually, he could hold his own. And, but Park It Sideways and then Die just...
Yeah, it should have just died right there.
You know what it was? It was just, there were just tracks on if you remember the On the House mixtape that led up to it.
Yeah, they released that quickly.
There were tracks there that
was a red flag too.
Yeah,
that was a red flag too. That was a red flag when they released that mixtape like a week or two before the album came out. I was like, why are they releasing the mixtape before the album? Is this like a omen of what's to come? And then you listen to them like, oh, they knew the shit was bad.
Yeah.
So it was like, someone said it was like the equivalent of them making their room, cleaning their room before their parents got home.
Oh.
I remember someone said that on Twitter, and I was like, "Yeah, that's a good analogy." That's pretty much what it was. Let's get the core fans first, and let's go back to it.
Right.
And then they had like Walk of Shame was Silent was trash.
Yeah.
Because it was like it was perfectly suited for Eminem, and Eminem should have rapped on there, but you could tell that M really tried. He tried because he executive produced this shit,
right?
And he was trying to do what he did to D12 because he was. But what M forgot was that it was a different climate.
Mm-hmm.
It was a different climate. There was different rules of the game, and it wasn't gonna work no more. He doesn't have that Midas touch no more. Only for himself, but for the artist, hell no.
Right.
Walk of Shame was funny. You gotta go. You gotta go.
Yeah.
You gotta go. That song's funny. I don't listen to it. The Other Side, yeah. Place to Be, yeah. And yeah, that Slaughterhouse didn't even go platinum, and I think that's the reason why they never came out with another shit.
It's just it's rough because they were the underdogs. They just as solo artists, they just couldn't catch the breaks. Yeah. And they finally had a group that was just because if you remember at the time, that was like when the Soulja Boys and the Cali whatever it was, Cali District or whatever, and everybody was just focused on those dances. And so when they came out, it was like, all right, now it's back to the forefront. Because remember, this was all pre J. Cole, Kendrick, and all them.
They were just starting out. Like J. Cole, Drake, Kendrick, they were all just literally just coming into their own and shit.
So for, the hardcore hip hop fans, this was our group. Like this was.
But they were but honestly, niggas on Twitter were hating on them tough.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The hardcore hip hop fans.
Yeah.
This was our group. Like this, this is what it was about.
Because I respected Button, I respected Royce, I respected Jorah Ortiz, and I respected Crooked Eye, and I loved the first Slaughterhouse on the first self-titled album.
And the rumors were starting like, well, maybe Royce can say something to Shady, and then then they did the Forever video and spitting, and in the background it's Slaughterhouse, and you're like, wait a minute, okay.
Then the Bad Meets Evil EP comes out. Slaughterhouse is on that.
No, because if you remember, this was at a time when just Slaughterhouse going to Shady was still up in the air. And so the video for Forever came out, and you're like, oh, okay, well, what's going on? And then, back when the hip-hop blogs were, must tune in at any given time, that's when everything started coming out saying, well, they're trying to get Interscope to work with E1 to get them out the deal. And then
I remember on that track on Recovery. What was that song called? The Session 1.
Yeah.
And Joe Budden went online and he said that his independent label wouldn't release his verse.
Right.
That's the reason why he wasn't on that song. Yeah, I remember that.
And so they're all going through that. And then I don't want to say out of the blue, but just when you think it's not going to happen, next thing you know, you see the XXL cover. And it's Shady 2.0, and they've got Slaughterhouse and Yellow Wolf.
Yes, you see him right there, and it's just like, I remember seeing that, and I was like, as a fan, I was like, oh, shit, let's do it. And it's like the rebranding of Shady Records and shit like that. Like, okay. And, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And Em really tried to help with Yellow Wolf, too. He tried to kind of groom him to be the heir to his throne, and that didn't work.
Right, and I think it's just timing because Yellow Wolf, anytime he shows up as a feature on records, like I'm always tuned in.
Like, but honestly, Yellow Wolf doesn't really let's be real. Machine Gun Kelly has a better career than Yellow Wolf.
Well, yeah, because Machine Gun Kelly puts himself out there.
Yeah, Yellow Wolf
really doesn't.
Yeah, and he's from the South too, and he's kind of Confederate flag out, but that's a whole other story. But yeah, Yellow Wolf can rap his ass off. He really can if he really when he wants to. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's Shady 2.0, man. They could have been somebody, man. I was pulling for them.
Yeah,
we all were.
The hip hop fan base really was, and then like I said, we were just blinded with just the fact that they were able to drop that album, and we rode for it. And then you go back and listen to the album, you're like, oh man,
damn, they're unlistenable now.
Yeah.
It's damn near unlistenable. Yeah. It's like
everything but Hammer Dance still gets played in my road. Like I've dropped everything but Hammer Dance. I could still listen to Hammer Dance all day.
Man, I made like a custom track list and mixed in with the mixtape tracks, and it's low key could have been like a 4-mic album at that point. I probably will send it to you eventually, but and they kind of slowly came back, on Shady XV. They dropped some records and they dropped the mixtape. I forgot what the mixtape was called, but it was pretty dope. And I listened to it once. It was on Dat Piff. And then after that, they were gonna House Rules, yes. And then they were gonna drop another one with Just Blaze. He was going to executive produce the album. I remember this distinctly. Just Blaze was going to executive produce the album, and they literally said they were going to give him more freedom to do what the fuck they wanted to do. M was going to be hands off this time. And I remember when Marshall's LP2 was out, he was on Rap City. You see Slaughterhouse in the background, and I guess the plan was they were going to drop Slaughterhouse next.
Yeah.
And after that, we kept waiting. Joe Budden dropped a few records. Royce dropped a few records. Crooked Eye dropped a few records. But there was no Slaughterhouse record. And then he kept going. Another year goes by. Royce said, the album's coming. Nothing. Joe Budden goes on Love and Hip Hop. Still nothing. Last year, Joe Budden's This Is what's his name? This Is Drake. Goes on a whole EP spree of dissing Drake. And then all of a sudden, there's rumors going on that Slaughterhouse broke up, and now Joe Budden's saying he might leak the records, and I don't know, it's just up in the air. They're still together for now, from what we know, from what they know. They're not telling us shit.
Yep.
But Joe Budden made himself. He said he's retired now. Oh yeah, shout out to Joe Budden. He's about to be a new dad with Sin.
Major props.
Shout out to him. Major props to him for all that. But yeah, man, when it comes to Slaughterhouse, fuck. Man, we had an idea what this episode was going to be called. Now that this brought me back to this, that just let me down. They disappointed me.
Yeah, man. But it is what it is. It's a learning curve. I mean, if you could either look at it from the standpoint of, man, that was just bad, or you just look at it from the standpoint of it was their sins that allowed TDE to come to the forefront.
Yeah, they learned from the mistakes. I mean, TDE is its own little shit. You know what I mean?
I mean, I look at it from the standpoint, though, is that everybody was affiliated with either M or Dre.
Yeah, but TDE was its own entity at that point. I
understand, but again, it was more... I just look at it from that standpoint. It makes me feel better looking at it from that standpoint.
It makes me feel better.
Like, they were the sacrifices...
They had to die.
Yeah, pretty much.
They had to die on them crosses.
But shit, they still spin. I mean, shit. I just they was playing a Royce.
Royce been dropping
from the what was it, the bar school,
bar exam,
the bar exam.
Yeah,
he had one with I'm forgetting who the hell was on it, but he had one line where he was like, if you want to know if if your pimp game is strong, then you'll find out if you let the hibachi chef throw a shrimp in your mouth. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, Royce is that nigga, man. Like the whole when he's on songs with Eminem, he brings the best out of M.
Yeah,
he really does. Matter of fact, he needs to just be on all the songs with M, so M could be at his best. So he won't do that run-on sentence raps.
Exactly.
Shit, man, you don't piss me off. But we could talk about this shit forever. But we all got shit to do. Yeah. So yeah, I guess we could just wrap this up right here. This is episode 53 of the Illogical Sense podcast. For Busby, sayonara, JC.
Catch y'all later. Enjoy your week. Love on your peoples throughout this tough time. Love on your peoples and extend a hand out to those who may be different from you. And if they don't want to take your hand out, then take your hand and raise it up in the air and smack the shit out of them.
That's beat the shit. No,
and make that shit look sexy when you do it.
Yeah, but you got to kick the shit out of them, dude. I kick the shit out of them.
Nah, don't kick them because people expect that. You know what I'm saying? You put your hand out, try to reason with people, and if they on this Nazi shit, pull your hand back like, okay, I get it. And right when they think it's all the way back, you turn that bitch around and you make that shit look sexier than a motherfucker.
Man, slap the fucking goodness into them. Slap them out of love. That's all
exactly.
It needs. That's all we need is love. Love is my message. Word to Michael Jackson.
Love tap.
You know, and
yeah. Well, you know, Prince had so much love. He was his own symbol. You know.
Yeah, just don't even say nothing.
Exactly. He was that. He was that big where he was just a symbol.
Mm-hmm. That's why I say when his music comes, I just don't say nothing. Mm-hmm. Just yeah. And another thing, I guess you could say forgiveness, too. We should all learn to just forgive and forget and just, move on and be strong.
Are you going to forgive Jed York?
Fuck no. Fuck Jed York.